Temperatures are continuing to drop. Just how cold will it get?
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Temperatures have dropped all day and we could be in the teens when you wake up, but it's looking warmer for the weekend. Meteorologist Eric Dean has our first look at the forecast. Eric.
All right, good evening, Steve. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, we're seeing temperatures right now in the upper teens and low 20s. Here's the latest outside right now in Hazard as well as Pikeville and London. We're seeing 19 across the board, feels like 19 across the board. And the reason being is because we have a nice calm wind out there at this hour dew point. It's low. It is down to 5 degrees. So take a look here at live pinpoint Doppler radar. All is quiet right now across eastern Kentucky, and this will get a break for your Friday going into Saturday, and for the most part, your Sunday. So when we get into Sunday night, that's when rain chances start to pick up. So overnight lows will be in the mid-teens, and you can kind of see how we get there. We'll see a temperature of 21 by the 1 o'clock hour, 18 by 7 a.m. Some places, again, we'll see that feels like temperature in the single digits, and we'll talk about that in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. Some people in several southern Kentucky neighborhoods say acts of vandalism and theft are happening late at night and early in the morning. Deputies are now investigating as some of these crimes are being caused by porch pirates. Surveillance video captured at least 3 people roaming through a Laurel subdivision earlier this week. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what happened and why folks are on edge.
Dressed in black, his face covered, a person is seen running up a porch only to turn and go the other way. The homeowner says it appears he changed his mind after seeing the Ring doorbell camera.
I've had some friends that messaged me on Facebook and talked to me about some thefts that were occurring from mailboxes and front porches.
Deputies believe the 3 or so people seen in this video are likely the same ones that stole packages from porches or mailboxes.
High-end items, computers, cell phones being shipped to individuals, a lot of high-end items.
Deputies say there's likely multiple victims, but people who live in the area also say some decorations were smashed in the road and some boxes and packages left behind after rummage through.
I highly encourage individuals to remove those packages as soon as possible from their front porch, or remove the mail from your mailbox as soon as possible, because you know about what time the mailman's going to run past your house.
Stealing from a front porch is also now just as much of a serious crime as taking mail from a mailbox. Deputies say if it happened to you, call them.
I think a lot of people think that, what's the use in reporting it? They're not going to be able to do anything with it. Well, we encourage people to report it to us because we can't know that it's going on and we can't take care of it if it's not reported to us.
Sheriff's Office is looking into at least 6 cases as of now. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Kentucky lawmakers passed a law a few years ago making stealing from a porch a felony offense. A Pike County man was indicted on multiple charges, including murder. Alex Uhas was charged with killing his own mother in October. A Pike County grand jury returned an indictment on counts of murder, terroristic threatening, and assault. Pike County Commonwealth's Attorney Bill Sloan says an indictment is a formal charge in circuit court.
Individuals or citizens have a constitutional right for a case to be presented to a grand jury before a felony can be charged.
Sloan says officials are still working to collect evidence. Uhas will be arraigned next in Pike County Circuit Court. In Laurel County, a man has been charged with attempted murder. On Tuesday, police say 40-year-old Tim Robinson is suspected of going to another person's home and shooting them in the face, causing serious injuries. Robinson left the scene, but police later found him off Branch Road East, leading to his arrest. He was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Floyd County man is facing charges after he was found tangled in a plastic wrap. Yesterday, police received a call from a woman at a home in Grethel who says she thought her son was trying to break into her home. After investigating the case, police found Darvin Shepard, who had been wrapped in plastic. Police later found what was suspected to be meth in Shepard's coat pocket. Shepard was charged with burglary and possession of a controlled substance. One volunteer firefighter and his family lost everything on Wednesday after his own home burned down. Jamie Gayhart works with the Lotts Creek Volunteer Fire Department, and now they're trying to help him. The assistant chief and his son started collecting clothing and monetary donations for Gayhart and his girlfriend to help them get back on their feet.
Lotts Creek's always been a very tight-knit community. It's one of the few communities in Perry County that actually covers Perry and Knott County. So like that local fire department's got two different counties they have to worry about.
Miller says it's easy to help someone who so easily helps others. If you would like to donate, you can find more information in this story on our website. The Kentucky Senate recently announced the 2025 committee chairs, vice chairs, and co-chairs. Two southeastern Kentucky natives are leading a critical committee, the Judicial Committee, for the 2025 legislative session. Senator Brandon Storm of London will be the chair, and Senator Philip Wheeler will continue serving as vice chair. The two are practicing attorneys and say they have worked together in the past and look forward to what's ahead.
Thankfully, I have wonderful colleagues that realize that a successful Kentucky is a Kentucky that is successful together.
I think we've got a wonderful committee staff. I've known them for years, worked with them on several really good pieces of legislation.
Senator Storm will continue to serve as the vice chair of the Senate Transportation Committee as well as co-chair of the Juvenile Justice Oversight Council. Senator Wheeler was also named as chair of the Economic Development, Tourism, and Labor. Saturday is the 83rd anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. The sons and daughters of the American Revolution in Williamsburg are hosting a remembrance ceremony in honor of those who died. WYMT's Caroline Mueller has a preview.
Japan has done what Roosevelt could not do, unify a deeply divided nation.
December 7th, 1941, a day that would instill a unified sense of patriotism throughout America.
Half the country prior to Pearl Harbor did not want to get involved in the war. After Pearl Harbor, enlistment offices were flooded with men eager to serve.
2,403 Americans were killed in the surprise attack by the Japanese Navy. The DAR and SAR chapters in Williamsburg are honoring them.
Probably everybody in the WYMT audience has got kinfolk somewhere along the line who were lost during World War II.
Captain Charles Gatliff, SAR chapter president Charles Hayes, says mountain folks were quick to enlist during World War II.
Some of the mountain counties in Kentucky had so many volunteers they didn't have to draft.
Organizers say Americans young and old should remember where they came from.
If they would look into the history of the past, they would understand where we are and where we're going in the future.
Looking to the past to prepare for the future.
You need to know what it took to get where we are today, and you need to be prepared to do a better job than even we did.
A remembrance ceremony will be held to commemorate patriots on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. In Whitley County, Caroline Mueller, WYMT Mountain News.
The ceremony will be at 11 a.m. on Saturday in front of the Whitley County Courthouse. The public is welcome to attend. The Prestonsburg community is rallying together to get needed items to those impacted by Hurricane Helene. A new partnership in the Star City is asking folks to bring toys, clothing, and more to City Hall to help provide warmth and a little Christmas cheer to people in North Carolina who are still working to get their lives back on track. The drive, an idea brought to the table by community advocate Paula Goebel, is about providing for families against the winter weather and giving gifts ahead of Christmas. But a mission to provide meals is next on Goebel's agenda.
And just some staples for their tent or wherever. But we'll find out more as we get there, and whatever else they need, and we'll make another trip. It won't be the last. We'll go back.
In the meantime, new unopened toys, baby items, and winter wear can be dropped off at City Hall in Prestonsburg or at the fire department. A tsunami threat has now passed for the Pacific Northwest after a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck off California's northern coast today. The quake triggered a temporary tsunami warning for millions of people. CBS's Danya Backus reports from Los Angeles.
Earthquake. I feel it. Oh my God.
The powerful magnitude 7 earthquake rattled backyards and businesses in Northern California shortly before noon Thursday.
This is the emergency alert that went out. You are in danger.
The U.S. Geological Survey says the quake was centered off the coast of Eureka, briefly triggering a tsunami warning for millions of people along the coast from southern Oregon to the San Francisco Bay Area.
It was definitely pretty frightening.
Angie Chavez works at a restaurant in Rio Del, not far from the epicenter.
We are trying to quickly exit the building and I'm losing my balance. And with refrigerator doors swinging open back and forth right in front of me, I'm having to dodge all the bottles and merchandise that's falling out of there while also holding on to my 2 coworkers.
As the situation unfolded, the San Francisco Zoo evacuated visitors and moved animals and staff to higher ground. Roads were jammed along Highway 92 as people in low-lying coastal areas sought to get to safety.
It's another reminder of the state that we live in and the state of mind that we need to bring to our day-to-day reality here in the state of California in terms of being prepared for earthquakes.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has since declared a state of emergency to provide resources to Northern California.
We're concerned about damage, particularly in the northern part of the state, in Del Norte and Mendocino and Humboldt County as a consequence of that.
The USGS is forecasting more aftershocks in the region in the coming days. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now, so far, there are no reports of major damage or any injuries. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down on a New York City sidewalk, and his killer is still out there tonight. There's also new images giving a clearer look at the suspect's face. The NYPD has been hunting for him since Wednesday morning. Found at the crime scene words written on the shell casings: deny, defend, and depose, similar to the 3 Ds of insurance, a phrase used by opponents of the industry. It's being called one of the largest cybersecurity hacks in history. U.S. security officials believe Chinese state hackers breached at least 8 U.S. telecommunications companies, hitting the nation's largest wireless carriers, stealing metadata, and eavesdropping on politicians. Officials say they still have not evicted hackers from the phone networks. They are encouraging people to use encrypted messaging apps, technology like WhatsApp, Google Messages, and iMessage.